tonight, along with her co-star Kiki Rice. The UCLA Bruins, they've just lost once. Let's not forget that. Yes, things have gotten a little bit tighter in recent games. Losing to USC on the road, nothing to be ashamed of. And still 24-1. The Bruins start out with the ball, and there is Lauren Betts. Yeah, she's back.
Well, she gets deep position, 2 feet in the paint. She can go left, she can go right, and she is such a good passer. It just puts tremendous pressure on the defense.
Averaging a double-double for the second straight season. Could become the first player in program history. As Wallace picks up the offensive rebound.
So Lauren Betts with the big block, leading the Big Ten with almost 3 a game.
Off the mark, Bryant. How about Illinois hitting the offensive glass in the early going as McKenzie is dispossessed. Here come the Bruins the other way. Rice on the attack, turned back out, and they'll set up in more of a half-court situation. Lauren Betts going to work. Off the spin. Impressive move, but Bostic, a double-double machine on the other side with the defensive board.
You can see the coverage for Illinois right now, 1-on-1 with Betts on the block.
Genesis Bryant averaging nearly 17 points a game during Illinois' 8-game winning streak. Bounces one off the iron. 2-0 UCLA with the ball. Right back down to the post.
Still no double coming.
That was the plan in the early going. Jaquez off the mark. Last touch by the Illini.
You can see Lauren Betts is so used to getting double and triple teamed that she's waiting for the double team to come, and she's kind of turning her head on a swivel, waiting to see where it's coming from to distribute the basketball, but it's just 1-on-1.
So I would imagine you think she's just got to go at it then.
If she's getting the ball 2 feet in the paint, absolutely, she is a weapon.
Whirling Dervish Rice off the rim.
That spin move is just so lethal. Didn't convert, but just got to the rim in a flash.
Team's trying to break the ice a little bit in the early going. Wallace is denied hard by Lauren Betts.
Already 2 big blocks. What a difference she makes defensively. UCLA with Lauren Betts, 6'7", her shot blocking and the athleticism on the perimeter. It's one of the best defensive teams in the nation, and forcing another turnover against a team that only averages 12 per game.
One of Illinois' biggest strengths. By the way, Betts now very early, didn't wait long to eclipse 150 career blocks in this game, a new milestone for the conference's top shot blocker. A big reason why they're playing her one-on-one is Kendall Bostic's prowess defensively, and that time Betts walks.
Well, and as much as UCLA is known defensively, Illinois has been bringing it as well. Their magic number is 70, and that is their goal underneath.
Welcome to Pauley Pavilion here in Los Angeles. UCLA leads Illinois 2-0 in the early going. A.J. Cannell alongside the former Washington Husky captain Elise Woodward for this top 25 matchup. Illinois leads the Big Ten right now, longest active winning streak, 8 games. UCLA, they've lost just once all year, 24-1 coming in. Plus, they get Lauren Betts, the National Player of the Year candidate, back after Betts missed the Michigan State win with a minor foot injury. Adalia McKenzie off the mark with that layup attempt. Here comes Gabriela Jaquez trying to set up with Betts in the post. One-on-one defense against her, and she takes advantage.
Well, and I think that she now realizes after a few possessions, if it's one-on-one, she's going to get as deep as she can and go to work. And a soft baby hook with the right hand.
Rationale behind Illinois choosing to go one-on-one?
Well, I don't think they're going to do that the entire game, but I do think they want to mix up their coverages. And because UCLA is so good at cutting and Lauren Betts is a passer, it's pick your poison.
Late shot clock. Bryant stripped from behind into the arms of Angela Dugalich, the Oregon transfer. Bostic falls down. The pass is over the top. The ball is still in play. Wait a second. We're still playing. Jaquez realized it.
Dugalich with the save, and it converts to 2 points for UCLA. The hustle points early here for UCLA as they've jumped up by 6.
Everyone froze, thought that play was dead. Instead, it's 6-0 Bruins, and the foul on Gabriela Jaquez on the driving Adalia McKenzie.
Lauren Betts was wide open too, but the pass just with the just a collision down there. This looks completely out of bounds. And look at Dugalich. That is 6'4" with the body control to make sure she plants her foot before she lands on the baseline and then keeps it in bounds. That was a great hustle play.
I was going to say, some things you don't find in the stat sheet, but actually she does get the assist for that, right? So right there in the stat sheet.
She earned that one.
Maybe she deserves 2 or 3 assists then. McKenzie averaging 20 per game over the last 3. She's come alive for Illinois.
Yeah, she's such a fun player to watch. She'll be out there all 40 minutes, most likely. She's done that 2 games in a row. So will Kendall Bostic.
Time Betts loses it on the dig down, and that is going to be a travel. Illinois, they pretty much have to play everybody close to 40. They're now missing Jasmine Brown-Hager after she aggravated an injury over the weekend, a hamstring injury. Even before she went down, it was 6 or 7 in the Fighting Illini rotation. Now it's really a strong 5 plus Corey Allen, who averages single-digit minutes.
Yeah, it's really too bad. Makaira Cook, one of the great guards, a senior, she got hurt, only got to play in 8 games this year, but Gretchen Dolan, Letty Vasconcelos, Shea Bolin, Jasmine Brown-Hager, none of them available here today. For all of you fighting Illini at home, they all wish you well.
The injury list might be longer than the available list as Tamia Gardner banks one home, and it's 8-2.
Tamia coming off an outstanding game. 18 points in the win against Michigan State, and the go-ahead 3-pointer with under 2 minutes to go. UCLA did not trail after that against the Spartans.
Gardner and Barker both stepping up last game in the absence of Betts. UCLA has all 8 so far in the paint. They're going to try and add to it here by going back to Betts. Bluffing at Betts, but it's still one-on-one. Good defense there from Kendall Bostic, and a foul going the other way on Kendall Dudley. We'll take an early timeout here in Pauley. The Bruins up by 6 at the first break. Basketball on the Big Ten Network is brought to you by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Well, Illinois looking for just its 3rd top 5 win in program history. Back in 1981 over Long Beach State, you could have popped your collar after winning that game.
That's a sweet uni, but it does go to show you the significance. And I'll tell you, Shauna Green can coach in her 3rd season now at Illinois. To put it in perspective, the Fighting Illini were 7-77 in Big Ten play in the 5 years before she took over. And now this team, despite the injuries and everything else, they're already at 21 wins overall and are one of the top teams in the league. She can flat out coach, and had them in the NCAA tournament in year 1 at Illinois after a 20-year absence. Last year they won the WBIT, and this year they will be in the NCAA tournament again. So 3 straight postseasons for a program that, you know, had some hard times. And what a hire for Illinois.
I mean, certainly they wanted to be back in the NCAA tournament last year, but is all the accomplishments you noted so impressive, especially given the long drought. But to do what they did, go the inaugural WBIT, which is now that 2nd best tournament in the women's game, to win the whole thing as a 4 seed. All the rest of the teams in the semifinals were 1 seeds. Given a lot of experience going into this year when they have a chance to make an NCAA tournament run. Barry Block goes back up for it. Barry Wallace there with the attempt for Illinois. Here comes UCLA the other way. Gardner, who had that big game against Michigan State, 18 points and 12 rebounds, travels.
It just wasn't on balance when she caught it.
4 for 7 for 3, Elise. She looks so natural with that shot.
Yeah, her shot is one of the most beautiful ones in women's basketball. And at 6'3", the high release point, and boy, what a game she had against Michigan State. She will be a weapon. If UCLA is going to make a first ever run to the Final Four as an NCAA institution, and they did it with Ann Myers and crew before the NCAA, but if they want to do that, it's gonna, Tamia Gardner's gonna have to step up and make a lot of shots. Kind of a sloppy game to start on both sides, some unforced turnovers.
6 turnovers already for Illinois, and UCLA continues to take advantage.
Kiki Rice has become such a dominant player, and she can get downhill anytime she wants, but now that mid-range and the three-point shot are falling at a much higher rate than any time in her career.
Shooting 54% this season, gets tapped right to Bostic for the putback.
Kendall Bostic's had a nice start to this game. She is holding her ground against Lauren Betts. Forced a travel and a couple of misses. And then offensively, I mean, she is going to continue to work. The leading rebounder in Big Ten play is Kendall Bostic.
3 in Big Ten history now. McKenzie pushing it, trying to score early. That could be a good idea for Illinois.
That's a beautiful move. Under control, jump stop, let the defense get in the air, and then went up and under on the crossover move. McKenzie just is in total control right now.
Rice is going to set it back up. Recently had a 10-assist, 1 turnover game against Rutgers. Cue. And it's going back the other way. 2 teams lose it right in a row. Wallace out of bounds.
And that will go as a turnover as they reset the shot clock. But both of these teams are good defensively. Reading the passing lane is the true freshman, Barry Wallace, who is making her first career start here today. The 5-star McDonald's All-American, a big get for Shauna Green and the coaching staff. And it's gotten better and better as the season has progressed.
Another defensive rebound gobbled up by Bostic on the Betts miss. Shoop Hill, hands off to McKenzie, sets a nice screen, and McKenzie gets the roll.
Good read by McKenzie, and she cut hard off of that screen, shoulder to shoulder, freed her up, and she got the look she needed.
Illinois has scored 6 straight. It was 10-2. Now it's 10-8.
And they've done a good job defensively, just keeping UCLA in front.
Rice, baseline, nothing there. Genesis Bryant, a ball of energy for Illinois, trying to initiate something, but it's picked off by Gabriella Jaquez. Arnesalo off the bench for the Bruins. Jaquez is there.
Jaquez, the do-everything glue player for Corey Close, averages just a tick under 10 points per game. Hasn't been scoring at a high clip recently, but she continues to work hard. And you saw the offensive rebound, perfect example.
And she is again, she's showing up early on. I think you mentioned this morning you wanted to see some more aggression from Jaquez. It's paying off in this game, and Rice with some English.
Well, that is the danger of turning the ball over on a live ball situation against UCLA. They're good in the half court and they've got weapons, but when Kiki Rice gets out in transition, she is nearly unstoppable.
End of the first quarter coming. Bostic launches a 3-pointer. And that will do it. Back-to-back buckets for the Bruins to close out the quarter after Illinois pulled within 2.
This awful disease.
We're thinking about you, Tammy. I know, having worked with her, and I know at least you're really close with her, but like she's the last person that wants it to be about her. What she wants is to help others. And she's can't imagine somebody doing a better job of taking their own battle and using that to help others. So my thoughts are with you, Tammy. Get back here soon. Angela Dugalich opens it up for UCLA here in the second quarter. Get Bryant going. She's struggled a little bit early on, but a follow there. Shoop Hill going back at it. Bryn Shoop Hill would not be denied.
Yeah, she is 6'3" and she is physical. And even though Kendall Bostic is the leading rebounder in the Big Ten, it is actually Shoop Hill who is the #1 offensive rebounder for the Fighting Illini. You see it here, just aggressively pursuing off of the glass to earn a three-point opportunity.
Right there, Bostic tried to get in front of that pass, but Betts still able to carve out position, take advantage.
Yeah, good pass to lead Betts away from the defense. Bostic forced to reach, and she has given up 6 inches to Lauren Betts, and it's just a lot of ground to cover.
I'm sure Bostic not used to giving up that much ground in too many matchups. McKenzie, no. Rebound, Dugalich. Eyes up for Angela Dugalich. Rice makes the extra pass, the sharpshooter, Jones.
The secondary offense for UCLA to perfection. Quick passing, find the open shooter. London Jones always ready, hands up, feet set, letting it fly. Illinois just can't get downhill and get any kind of windows.
Mary Wallace, rainbow 3. Stroop Hill, offensive rebound.
When they're driving into 6'7" and 6'4".
Betts with a little bit of body contact. And so this is the largest lead of the game for UCLA, but Illinois to the foul line.
So Angela Dugalich, 6'4", can lead the break. Kiki was open, but London Jones always a good candidate, and she was open in the corner at lefty. Smallest player on the court every night, but boy, does she fill it up when she is left open.
First personal foul on Lauren Betts. And Betts is taking a seat. Oh, still in there.
And Janiyah Barker, who had a start in the place of Lauren Betts, who's missed 3 games this season. Boy, she had so much energy in that win against Michigan State.
You know what, they haven't been full doubling, but some of those dig downs have been effective.
Yeah, Lauren, right now, just too much dribbling with her back to the basket. She's not as decisive as she can be right now, and Illinois taking advantage.
Well, Allen was forced to try and shoot. Not the best scenario for her, and now Barker looks to be shaken up.
So Illinois has one. Bostic holding her ground, arm bar in the back, and right here, 2, 3, and she had not yet got into her move. So Kendall Bostic doing a nice job holding her ground, walling up, not fouling, and then the guards digging down. 3 dribbles with your back to the bucket in the lane, you have to be decisive.
Not sure what happened right there with Janiyah Barker, but she just, the whistle blew and she walked right out of here, right down the tunnel. So hopefully she's all right. Crossover, Jones, electric dribble move for a player who's more noteworthy for her 3s normally.
That ball nearly a turnover, and London Jones snagging it and then getting right to the rim.
7 straight for UCLA. And a foul there on Gardner. Let's take a look at this last play. It involved Barker.
So Betts with the block, and then Ooh, a collision there, and might have got hit in the eye, into the face area. Looks like she's moving just fine, but right back into the tunnel. And obviously for Janiyah Barker, the junior transfer in from Texas A&M, one of the great forces off the bench for Corey Close.
And off her first double-double as a Bruin. Great effort right there from Mackenzie to not only pick up the rebound, but toss it back out. Wallace in attack mode.
Illinois continues to get into the lane, and they've been blocked. They've turned it over, but they are keeping pace right now, down by just 8 on the road here in the second quarter. But they continue to just put it on the deck and drive hard.
Honestly, they're fortunate that it's only 8. UCLA a 10-0 points off turnovers advantage.
Yeah, Illinois already with 9 turnovers, and this is a team that averages just 12. It's a staple of Shauna Green in Illinois to not hand the ball over to the opponent, but UCLA's defense is making them uncomfortable.
Rice Jones gets a look at the shot clock buzzer. Dudley Betts and the foul.
Betts continues that time with getting deep post position, decisive that time, going strong. And she's such a force because she can go left or right. This time I actually think she was more open going to her right. It doesn't matter. She goes with her left hand right there. I thought she might spin, but taking it with her left hand off the window, the hoop. And a chance to complete the three-point play, but the free throw, no good.
Foul went on Bostic. Weirdly, the first foul of the game on Illinois.
And they just don't foul. They defend without fouling. Bostic, as physical as she plays, has not fouled out of the game yet.
Double-figure turnovers, though, and Jones goes the other way.
Oh, Jones just landed funny. Kind of grabbed it, her thigh. Looks to be okay, but boy, that did not look right when she came down.
Poked away again, and Jones gets the steal off the Gardner deflection, and Rice loses it. Okay. This has been interesting, the first quarter and a half. Not necessarily an assist-to-turnover ratio clinic so far. Mackenzie, back iron. Not there for Shoop Hill, saved by Mackenzie, nobody home.
And look at 3 blue jerseys back to stop the transition of UCLA. Illinois has really grinded this game. They've made it a gritty affair for UCLA. They're gonna have to bring their lunch pail and go to work against this Illinois team that's won 8 in a row.
Travel called. So there have been 18 total turnovers in the game now.
Now, London Jones is such a spark plug. She can fill it up from deep. And here she is getting out in transition, kissing it off the window.
Locks up with Purdue. Then, Iowa and Oklahoma State renewed their storied rivalry in a top 5 duel. A wrestling doubleheader, Sunday on the Big Ten Network.
This is UCLA, where extraordinary things happen, where the internet was born. Yes, the internet. Where Coach John Wooden inspired us to make each day our masterpiece. Where we don't just break records, we shatter them. Where legends are made. Where about half our state students attend tuition free. To put it simply, UCLA is the dream school. UCLA in the Big Ten, a powerhouse alliance redefining what it means to be legendary.
Welcome back, 27-15, UCLA mid-second quarter. Don't miss the 2025 TIAA Big Ten Women's Basketball Tournament live from Indianapolis. You can catch coverage of the tournament March 6th through 8th on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. These are 2 teams that are battling it out to be top 4 seeds and get a double bye.
And they have set themselves up for success, Illinois, on this run. But you look at the clump Illinois has this tough matchup on the road at UCLA, and then they will go on Sunday to SC. And so you don't want to look behind you. You got everybody nipping at your heels. So for them, it's a tough road trip, but they want to have some success, so they stay in that 4th spot.
Betts with another big time block. Well, earlier today, Ohio State taking a loss at Indiana. Barker back on the bench for UCLA, and that's still looking kind of perturbed about the whole situation. But Illinois tied for 3rd now because of Ohio State's loss earlier today. Shoop Hill can't hook it in, and there's a tie-up here. It's going to send it back the other way. Betts has 3 blocks for UCLA.
And she averages 2.8, and I thought maybe today she would have a big game. Season high 9 blocks for Lauren Betts. And she is one of the all-time best in UCLA history in that category.
Still just a junior. Good cut, Jaquez, left-hand attempt. It's already the 8th rebound for Kendall Bostic. 7 of them have come defensively. McKenzie on the lookoff. Bruins in control, double figure lead, 27-15. That's battling down there with Bostic. What a matchup this is. Left hand flips it in. Lauren Betts.
Yeah, just so dominant. Bostic has done a good job against her. She's forced 4 turnovers here in the 1st half. Season high for Betts is 6 turnovers. So Bostic has made her a little uncomfortable, even with that single coverage. So the game plan for Shauna Green right now, just to play single coverage and try to play her as tough as possible, has certainly been effective.
Oh, another Illini turnover there. 12th as a team. They're scoreless in over 3 minutes.
So just, again, single coverage, nobody doubling down, and Lauren Betts taking her time, feeding the defense just 1 dribble, and gets into her sweet spot. And again, she can go left, she can go right. She got baby hook, she got a jump hook, she's got soft touch. It's just a weapon offensively. A generational talent is what Lauren Betts is.
Right back to it. Foul first on the arm bar from behind there on Kendall Bostic.
And that really is for Kendall Bostic. She does not get into foul trouble, and she leads the Big Ten in minutes played. She's a post player. She's the leading rebounder in the Big Ten Conference. You naturally get caught up when you're physically battling against the post players in this league and rebounding, and yet she's so smart, and that's her 2nd foul, and she's gonna have to take a seat.
So Haven Smith comes in. They rarely expand their rotation this far, but Shauna Green kind of had a notion she might need to with Brown Hager out, granted different position, but the combination of even fewer bodies available, plus the fact that you have to have some more size against Betts. So with the 2 fouls on Bostic, the 6'6" freshman from Frankfort, Illinois, Haven Smith coming in to battle Betts. And a foul from behind there on Rice, it looked like.
And Wallace doing a nice job at 6'1". She does not look like a freshman. McDonald's All-American, just getting the position inside and forcing that foul.
Wallace, 1 against 2, able to get the roll.
Love that move. Big time, getting to her spot on the baseline, rising over the defense and the soft touch to get that one snuggled in. She is coming on strong for the Illini down the stretch of this season.
I think she had missed the first few weeks of her, or 3 weeks early in the season of her freshman year with a hand injury, had to have surgery. And a lot of freshmen, that would derail their whole season. That has not been the case for her. Arnisala. That's towering over everyone. Blocked, though, there by the freshman Smith. And UCLA can reset. And a high post, Betts, high-low. And Jaquez gets a late whistle.
Well, that time inverted, so Lauren Betts at 6'7", looking for her small forward, Gabriela Jaquez. And the versatility for Jaquez. She can shoot the three, she can get to the mid-range. She doesn't need a lot of shots to make a big impact in the game.
Coming up, stick around for the halftime show presented by Allstate with Rick Pizzo and Autumn Johnson. Foul is going to be called here with the players jockeying for the rebound. Looks like they're going to keep it on this side. Haven Smith, first personal.
On the free throw, just an arm extended into Dudley. Freshman just trying to get warmed up here in her first minutes here against the #3 team in America.
Both teams are going to shoot on the next foul, but only 45 seconds to go in the quarter. Now a double team, and Dudley steps on the baseline.
Well, that time coming in doing her job on that position, Haven Smith just leaning on Lauren Betts, using all of her 6'6" frame to push on Betts and force the turnover on the out of bounds.
9 UCLA turnovers, 12 for Illinois. But in the game that the Illini, as you said, kind of mucked it up a little bit, UCLA has still found a way to have control. Up by 13, playing defense. Genesis Bryant has not scored yet in the first half, setting up Barry Wallace, and a chance to go to the line now.
So 2 on Kiki Rice. And so she's going to take a seat here with just 14 seconds left. But something to watch for in the second half. Takes a little bit of the aggression away from you on both ends when you've got those 2 fouls.
Coming up on Saturday, more women's hoops excitement comes your way when the Wolverines battle the Lady Lions. Coverage begins at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Final possession of the first half for UCLA. Lena Arnisalo bounces for Jaquez. Trying to set up Betts. Carved out deep position, and Lauren Betts adds 2 more to her total and wave the first half off, according to Kevin Pethel.
Up, and it's been a staple of why they have been so successful.
Bostic on the cut, tries to finish over Betts, cannot. Good crash from Adalia McKenzie.
Well, that's the thing. Betts may not have blocked that shot by Bostic, but she altered it. She's looming. She's 6'7", and she's already gotten 3 blocks in the game, and that can get into a player's head as they try to avoid, and it changes the trajectory of their shot by trying to avoid that wingspan.
And Illinois looks like they're starting to send more of a harder double.
And that time it was McKenzie quicker to the double. I mean, it was Bostic there for a dribble, and then, so right here, it's 1-on-1. There's nobody in the space. 1 dribble, and then as Betts went to turn, and McKenzie will pick up that foul. And it is such a difficult task for Illinois because they are missing so many players. Just 8 scholarship players suited up today, and because of the injury issues, and you can't foul. You just cannot afford to foul, and so it is difficult, and give them credit for limiting UCLA in the first half to just 32 points.
Well, normally that's also something Illinois is really good at. They're second in the conference, only Wisconsin fouls less. But you get to a situation like this, To me, it's kind of apropos of why they're struggling overall. Like UCLA just overmatching them. They're taking Illinois' strengths and erasing them.
Well, that's why they're one of the best teams in America, and we're #1 for 12 weeks in a row. And it's that link. And that time, nice job by Genesis Bryant getting into the arms. She's been quiet today. But boy, what a great season that Genesis has put together. The 5'6", fifth-year senior out of Jonesboro, Georgia. And Bryant started her career at NC State and was just kind of there floundering, and she has found her home at Illinois. And she has got infectious energy at that guard spot for Illinois.
Just caught a look there during the free throws of Janiyah Barker. She's officially been ruled out with a knee injury. Barker, very important player, as we saw, filling in for Betts as starter in the most recent game. And, you know, will continue to be important for them off the bench. So hopefully not a long-term absence for Barker, the Texas A&M transfer.
Yeah, she is a huge piece for UCLA. She brings, if you want to draw up the recipe for what you want for a player that comes in, it would be energy, it would be rebounding, it would be defense, it would be the ability to score, and she just changes the tempo when she comes onto the floor for UCLA. So, you know, they have gone 3 games without Lauren Betts. They're going to go this second half without Janiyah Barker. They just want to make sure that they are peaking and healthy when it comes to playoff time.
And mentally in the right place, something that Corey Close was speaking with us about this morning at shoot-around. Bostic trying to stretch the perimeter out a little bit against Betts, and that time Bostic is successful.
That's a beautiful looking three-point shot for Bostic, and she has turned herself into a shooter. She's increased her point total every single season in her career, now in year 5, and gotten better from deep.
There are 3 bodies near Betts, makes a right pass. Jaquez can't finish.
And Illinois just hanging around. Down by 11 here in the 3rd quarter. And they just have really limited the runs from UCLA. I mean, it's stunning right now that UCLA has just 1 made 3-point shot.
Very difficult attempt for Bryant, but it's swatted out of bounds by Rice, so Illinois gets a fresh possession out of it.
Well, I think what Illinois has chosen to do defensively, I mean, at first you're like, wow, just a single team on Lauren Betts, but that is 2 points, and you're limiting anybody else from getting a lot of room. And it has worked. This game plan has worked. They have limited UCLA.
McKenzie finishes inside, back to a single-digit margin. So they'd mix up their coverages a little bit against Betts, but primarily they're starting with a single coverage. You see a little bit of a dig down once she starts to put it on the deck. Dugalich tipped out off of Jaquez. And so Illinois the ball and within 9.
Yeah, Illinois just continues to hold their ground, and a bit of a rush from Lauren Betts on that attempt. Just hasn't found that true rhythm, I think, missing that game against Michigan State. And she's had, I mean, she's already obviously in double figures with 13 points, but only 2 rebounds for Lauren Betts. Bostic has done a great job keeping her off of the glass.
Against the pressure, now it's momentarily was a 2-on-1, now 2-on-2. One of those 2 was Betts, so very difficult for McKenzie. And then Kiki Rice alertly tips it out of bounds off of Adalia McKenzie.
Corey Close doing a nice job, just trying to pick up the pace and the tempo. You go into full court pressure, and that's what can happen. And that time, boy, it looked like Kiki Rice had already stepped out of bounds when she saved that.
Very close at the least.
But Lauren Betts, if she's the one defender back, it could be 3-on-1 and it's still a challenge.
Might not matter. Betts 1-on-0 here for 2.
Yeah, beautiful entry pass from Kiki Rice. Sometimes it just looks so easy when you send it away from the defender on that feed, and Betts just has to lay it in.
Well, you can understand why at times you want to try and jump the pass. You want to try and front Betts because you're kind of toast once she catches, but end up with some of those plays. There's a big denial by Dudley, but there was contact, so Mackenzie will shoot.
You get a little glimpse of the athleticism of Kendall Dudley, the 6'2 freshman. Watch her get up. And maybe that hand coming through the offhand of Mackenzie, and that's what drew the whistle.
I think there was some body first as well.
And boy, what an outstanding slasher and defender. She's had some nice minutes in her role. And as a true freshman, she is playing a role on this extremely talented team. And one of her roles is to defend and block shots and fly around.
Team's also struggling a little bit at the line tonight. Both teams around 50% foul shooting. Betts holding up defensively there. Haven Smith, the freshman back into the game, had played just 12 games this season at 6 minutes a game coming into this one.
Excellent job by Dudley.
I'll say Dudley did touch it, so that means it's no over and back.
She fought to get over that screen.
Bostic on the turnaround, comes up completely empty.
Well, that's the challenge of UCLA's defense is you had Bostic going up against another 6'3 forward that had drew the assignment into Mia Gardner, and they've just got length and size for days. Multiple players that are over 6'3" for Corey Close.
This is a hard-working game for Bostic, who you mentioned earlier is the Big Ten's leader in minutes, and she has to be out there pretty much the whole way tonight with all Illinois' injury troubles and battle. All of these different bodies led by Betts for UCLA. Gardner off the mark. It's tapped over to Wallace.
Yeah, just still no big run from UCLA. It's still limited. One made 3.
Blocked by Dugalich, but Wallace keeps with it. Barry Wallace, the freshman for Illinois, getting her first career start.
Yeah, that was a nice job not hanging your head. She got swatted, didn't get frustrated, just grabbed the offensive rebound and put it in.
Up to 7 points. Dugalich able to sneak it up and in on the reverse.
Nice job showing off her athleticism. Kissing it off the window.
All right, we're getting a little pace to this one now. It was a little disjointed at times in the first half. I don't know if anybody's turned the ball over.
I mean, they're just
recently.
The pace is very slow. It has been a half-court game.
At least, though, I think the teams have cleaned it up a little bit since halftime.
Well, this pace definitely favors Illinois. They are short on bodies. They don't want to get into a track meet with UCLA with their depth and athleticism, and that's why they are still in this game. They have controlled the tempo and the pace.
Rip move, Dugalich along the baseline. Dudley, same thing, throws it near the half-court line on the miscommunication. Picked up by Rice. Shot clock ticking down on the nice crossover move. There's a whistle with 1 second on the timer on Kiki Rice's drive. Going to be a timeout here with a 10-point UCLA lead in the middle of the third quarter. Tonight's Women's Sports Spotlight is sponsored by Allstate. More Big Ten's women's hoops coming your way shortly on Sunday, both on Big Ten Network and FS1. But also Jordan Childs and number 2 UCLA taking on number 15 Michigan in women's gymnastics. Well, Jordan Childs' gymnastics resume, not many can compete with. Take a look at the gymnastics banners here in Pauley Pavilion. How about the tournament resume for UCLA? We were both remarking earlier today, Elise, that like it's almost mind-boggling that UCLA still isn't ranked number 1 in the country, given what their resume says. They have only that one loss. I understand that Notre Dame has been on fire, but man, I don't know if anybody's resume can compete with the Bruins.
Well, it's quite interesting because the rankings have the Bruins number 3. They have Notre Dame number 1. Texas moved up to number 2. But when you went to the reveal, UCLA is still the number 1 overall top seed. And ultimately, that is what matters. Look, it's all subjective. It's all opinions. You have to decide it on the court. And it's going to be who plays the best down the stretch. It doesn't matter what you did in November or December. Rankings don't matter. Obviously, you want the highest seed, but even then, you make a run as a lower seed.
That's what's going to matter. Oh, I'm going to say, too, I mean, we are on the Big Ten Network here. I'm going to stick up for the Bruins a little bit. They only have 1 loss. Notre Dame's got 2. They are 9-1 against Quad 1 teams. Notre Dame is 5-2 against Quad 1 teams. I don't quite understand that from the AP poll, personally.
Do you think people in the media get it wrong, AJ? Is that what you're saying?
I would never.
Us idiots in the media get something wrong? I would say that that's probably a likely choice. I love all my fellow journalists, but sometimes we're not right.
I don't. Yeah, you know what? I think in this case they did get it wrong. I'm gonna go on.
I just think, I mean, it's all subjective, right? Like,
yeah.
Notre Dame's red hot, but you know, the good news is we're gonna figure it out in March, baby, and April.
And you know, it's a continued discussion a little bit there. Like, I thought Corey Close, and it goes along with what we've talked about with her in the past about her mentor, John Wooden, and how process-oriented she is. She's really concerned about, with all the accolades this team has received this year, that you cannot become outcome-oriented at this stage. You can't be thinking about where your ranking is, what you're, oh, we're going to win the national title, we're going to win the Big Ten title. They want to be thinking step by step.
Well, there's just a lot of things that don't matter, and a ranking doesn't matter. It just doesn't, so you can't concern yourself with it. It's nice to get the publicity, but it really doesn't have any bearing on whether you win a Big Ten championship or a natty. And so I think, look, it's all good for the game. There's a preseason poll when you have no idea who's going to be good or not, and all the changes from losing seniors and getting freshmen and transfers now. And yet we still do it. Why? Because it's good for the game, because it gets people talking. The number 1 ranking, it's good. It gets people talking. But ultimately, the reveal is what matters. It's what seed and where you end up going. Are they going to go to Spokane? That's it for be in that region. That's their goal, and that's the hope.
You would think they're headed towards that, but still a lot of more work to do. And in a battle right now with Illinois. Of course, that matchup with USC to close out the season in the Big Ten tournament as well, as McKenzie will get some more free throws.
Well, and for Illinois' perspective on this, they're a team that they were in the NCAA tournament with this group. The vast majority of this group has been together for 3 seasons, and that was year 1 with Shauna Green. They were there last year. They just had a very slow start to Big Ten play, but they rallied, caught fire. We mentioned the WBIT championship. But despite all the injuries, they're continuing to roll. It's not about, they're going to make the NCAA tournament. Right now, they're projected as a 7th seed. And Illinois has had a fantastic season and had some close, hard-fought wins and grinding it out. But they're not a team that's just fighting to get in like many would have imagined before the season started. Now, you know, we talked to Genesis Bryant. She said, we're looking to make a run. It's not just about getting there. It's about making a run when we get there and seeing how far we can go with an experienced, senior-laden team.
Now look at Illinois. No bad losses. No quad 3 or 4 losses. They are looking for that one, signature win that could help boost that seed up further than the 7 that they are currently projected by Autumn Johnson.
Well, and they got 2 big chances this weekend here, where they're only down by 8 in the 3rd quarter, and then against USC in a few days. So they've got 2 big opportunities for an exclamation point on that tournament resume.
Update you on foul trouble. You see Kendall Dudley picked up her 3rd for UCLA. Bryn Shoup-Hill has 3 for Illinois. Allen, yes, and the foul for Corey Allen, who has played under 10 minutes each of the last 6 games forced into more action due to their injuries. Corey Allen with a chance for 3.
And just putting Jaquez on skates, taking her all the way into the lane. Another downhill driver. Jaquez got onto the left hip, and Allen never let her escape. And it's a 6-point game.
6 straight points for Illinois. Kiki Rice puts her head down, spins it out. Betts crashes. Betts with the offensive rebound in the 2.
Well, that is just being bigger, stronger, and more physical. Gets up there above everybody else to snag the miss from Kiki Rice.
17 for Betts to lead everyone. Well, there could have been contact there, no call, but a physical 2-point bucket for McKenzie.
Love that. Just putting her head down and getting all the way into the lane. McKenzie's just been on an absolute tear over the last portion of this season.
9 points in the quarter for Adalia McKenzie. And that's a foul on Bostic. It's going to be the 3rd on Kendall Bostic.
Yeah, just a little bit too much body. She's so good at walling up. But this one, put your head down, go. Change of speed, freezes London Jones defensively. Nobody in that gap coverage.
She got hit.
And she puts it into the bucket. And Adalia McKenzie on the Big Ten honor roll this week. We mentioned it off the top. The last 2 games last week, 21 points per game, and played all 80 minutes in the 2 games. She's not tired. She's ready for more.
In this quarter with her 9 points, that shades of the 4th quarter against Nebraska when they outlasted the Cornhuskers. She scored 10 in the 4th quarter in their most recent game.
And they're good in the 4th quarter. Despite their lack of depth, they are a 4th quarter team.
Trying to find Adalia McKenzie. This time London Jones is called for the foul. After McKenzie buried her a little bit underneath, and 2 free throws coming for McKenzie. She's 5 for 8 today at the line, 77% on the season. Top 10 in the conference this year in free throws made, McKenzie. Something to talk about here with this one getting closer. The Big Show delivers highlights, interviews, and complete analysis. That's coming up next after this game on the Big Ten Network. McKenzie splits the pair.
Well, and Illinois' defense has still held UCLA to 1 made 3. That's it. And when a team goes on a big run, there's usually a 3 or 2 mixed in there. And this crowd has not had a chance to get up and cheer for a run yet in this game.
It's a good point. Math game a little bit there with the 3s, keeping Illinois in. Betts. No. And Illinois controls the ball with the shot clock off. McKenzie has just been in pure attack mode. And now they'll hold for the final shot. Genesis Bryant doesn't have a field goal yet today. Their 2nd leading scorer. She nearly has one there, but it's off in time. And it's Haven Smith with a 2 at the buzzer, and Illinois is right there.
Well, I love to understand the facilities and the expectations and what could be at Illinois. And boy, she is on my list of Big Ten Coach of the Year candidates. There's a few, but boy, Shauna Green has done a fabulous job. And it hasn't been easy in this loaded Big Ten conference with the injuries that she's had to endure. And on the other side, Corey Close, another one. I mean, she's the general manager and coach and has put together a fantastic roster here at UCLA. They've lost just 1 time this season, so 2 of the leaders.
Splash, Kiki Rice.
And they have doubled up their 3-point productivity with that 3 ball, just the 2nd made 3. And we'll see if UCLA's not a dynamic 3-point shooting team, but they certainly have been limited by Illinois. They've done a great job at closeouts, and it is a staple of Illinois' defense.
Illinois on the season holding opponents to under 28% from 3. It's been a lot of McKenzie. Betts was there with the block, and it's out off of Betts. Tonight's State of Success is sponsored by State Farm. Illinois in the third quarter scoring more points than they did in the first half, and the turnovers totally eliminating that as an issue.
They'll get into the free throw line. They are downhill drivers, and if you don't move your feet, they can cause you serious problems.
Step back three at the buzzer, and that's going to be a shot clock violation. Ball didn't hit the rim.
Good defensive possession by the Bruins. I mean, this game has been low scoring. It has not been explosive, and that is because these are two really good defensive teams, two of the best in the Big Ten. And sometimes it doesn't look pretty. UCLA, with their field goal percentage defense, they're going to make you miss a lot of shots. There haven't been a ton of steals for either side, just 7 for UCLA and 5 for Illinois. There haven't been a lot of chances to get out and run off the defense. It's just been a lot of missed shots due to the length, and for UCLA, or for Illinois' defense, their toughness and ability to close out.
Betts turns into it. Well, you mentioned it. She's gotten her numbers tonight, but just missing a little bit of an edge.
And she's an even 8 of 16 from the floor, normally a 62% field goal shooter. She's had a couple of gimmies that she has left short.
McKenzie against Rice, flips it up. Back to UCLA.
McKenzie is finding her way into the paint with 2 feet. The last 2 possessions, trying to get to the free throw line, trying to find a window to get a shot off, and UCLA's defense has closed up.
McKenzie taking ownership of the offensive possessions for Illinois. Hawkes inside, Betts fits that one home, and UCLA strikes with a couple of early buckets. 5-0 Bruins in the quarter.
And that time they go strong side to Lauren Betts. On that right side, a good entry pass from Hawkes, and even through 2 defenders, she's able to get that one in. Deep post position, and her money spot on the right. So 6'7", Lauren Betts now up to 20 points. Look how deep she is. Her foot is in the restricted area, and that's just physical dominance from a 6'7" center.
25-4, that's a heck of a day, as Genesis Bryant picks up her first made field goal of the game for a player averaging 15 points a game, usually hits 2 threes per game. And now McKenzie was able to get in there, poke it away.
Excellent read from McKenzie. Boy, she just sprung off the floor, got to that pass in a hurry.
Wallace is denied by Lauren Betts.
And now Lauren just 1 block shy of the single season record at UCLA. Timing that one up. That is absolute denial by Lauren Betts. That is the reason why UCLA is so good, is that she alters and blocks shots.
Tying Monique Billings there for the single season record. 1 away from having that mark all on her own, but Genesis Bryant starting to cook.
That's good to see Bryant get going.
Back-to-back field goals after none through the first 3 quarters. Still just a 4-point game now. Rice stops at the foul line. Dugalich, pure.
Good playmaking from Kiki Rice, kicking it over to Dugalich in the corner. Feet set, no hesitation for the big.
Well, Rice is a Nancy Lieberman Point Guard of the Year finalist, top 5 in the conference in assists this year, with a key dime. Well, Bostic came into this game just 8 for 28 from 3 this year. I know she's worked on it, but she's taken a lot of threes. Tonight, trying to move, it seems like Betts out to the perimeter. Well, Bostic is 2 for 5 from deep. Missed there, here's Rice. Off the screen, Hawkes all set up. They forgot to block out Dudley.
Yeah, you look up at the scoreboard, 51-44, and you think it might be in the first half or maybe in the third quarter, but this has been a defensive effort on both sides.
Rice was sprung free there on her way in.
And she has had a couple pop out the layups that time. It rolled a little bit, but finally went in. She's up to 9 and make it 11.
Bryant, tough pass to handle for Shoop Hill. Eyes up for Rice. Rice in the paint. Rice for 2 in the foul.
A rare fast break opportunity for UCLA in this game. It has been a slow pace that has favored Illinois, but this time getting out and running. 9 fast break points, no one better in college women's basketball than Kiki Rice in transition. I mean, she can just put her head down and go left, go right, and take over with her athleticism. We saw a little bit there. Bruins want to see a lot more here with 5 minutes to go.
An 8-0 run for UCLA. There's that run they've been looking for. Getting it in the fourth quarter.
So big for starters, it's 18 of the country's most iconic universities. It's Defend the Rock, Jump Around, and the biggest bass drum on earth big. It's a stadium so big.
They had to name it the Big House. Go Blue!
It's dotting the I big.
Let's go Bucks.
It's all-time leading scorer big. And now that USC, UCLA, Oregon, and Washington have joined the party, it's feeling real big. Right, Matt?
I'm ready. Fight on. Boys up. Baby.
Let's get it. Go Dogs.
Nah, it's all about the O.
The Big Ten Network. This is big.
Silas Swords
Slicing into the lane.
and Olivia Olsen
Wide open 3, you bet.
lead the Wolverines against the Lady Lions. Women's Hoops, Saturday at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific on the Big Ten Network.
Sunday, 5th-ranked Nebraska locks up with Purdue. Then, Iowa and Oklahoma State renew their storied rivalry in a top 5 duel. A wrestling doubleheader, Sunday on the Big Ten Network.
UCLA rocking and rolling right now. Sunday, a women's hoops doubleheader tips off with 8th-ranked Ohio State against Purdue. Then Indiana, fresh off that big win today over Ohio State, takes on Michigan State. Coverage begins noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app.
Oh, and just around the corner, the Big Ten tournament in Indy. And that is a toss-up. It's gonna be great to see who's gonna make the Final Four. Because I do believe that there's a line at the top. USC and UCLA are the pretty heavy favorites, and then Ohio State. And after that, it could be anybody. Illinois, Michigan State, Maryland. I mean, the list goes on and on of who can be that team that rises up.
Genesis Bryant denied inside.
She went into the land of the Giants.
Double team against Betts. Dugalich tees it up. Rebound Bryant.
I just didn't quite get her legs underneath her. She hit a big one recently, was feeling it.
Good trigger. Wallace is good, and they needed that one from Barry Wallace.
She's looking good. This true freshman is really coming into her own. You mentioned she missed 7 games earlier this year with a broken hand on her shooting hand. Had to go through surgery, but since she has come back, she has not missed a beat.
That block on the previous possession was credited to Lauren Betts, so she now has the all-time single-season UCLA program record for blocks in a season, and she gets the assist there. Dudley.
Dudley doesn't have gaudy numbers, but boy, it sure is nice. The number 4 prospect in the nation, class of 2024. This freshman at 6'2" can guard any position.
Wallace, stuffed by Rice. UCLA starting to pile up the block shots. And that's going the other way. Offensive foul on Betts, going to take us to a timeout with 3 coming down the stretch of the regular season. And Elise, who do you have in mind for Coach of the Year candidates?
Well, funny you ask. These are the 4 that I think jump out to me that have done a phenomenal job. And mentioned it, Corey Close, the general manager and head coach, has assembled a ton of talent and has coached them up, led them to their #1 ranking for 12 weeks. The first time UCLA has ever been the top seed. Lindsey Gottlieb and what she's done with Juju Watkins and Kiki Iriafen, Kennedy Smith, that crew at USC, phenomenal job. And then Robin Freilich of Michigan State and Shauna Green of Illinois, just putting together great game plans and coaching their rosters up to have such consistent success in a loaded Big Ten conference. And, you know, so you just, what Shauna Green here in this game, and it's just, she's done so much with little and so many injuries that she's had to deal with.
And that's where Corey Close, as Wallace puts a 3-pointer in. Close she almost deferred to Freilich and Green a little bit, and in particular was talking about how purposeful she feels like Illinois has been and how much they've made out of what they have this year. She couldn't have been more complimentary at shoot-around of what Illinois has done under Shauna Green this year.
Well, they're still within 8 of this team, #3 in America.
Nice behind the back move by Jaquez.
Jaquez calling her own number. 7 points now for Jaquez. And for Illinois, they've got to move quickly here. They're down by 10, just 2 minutes to go.
Bryant triggers. Perfect for Genesis Bryant. She has 10 points.
Exactly what they needed.
7 assists as well, 5 turnovers for Bryant. So an up and down day. Started to score the ball more as the game has gone along. Quick double against Betts, dribbles away from the hoop. Only 95 seconds to go in this game. Betts, Dudley, reverse, yes, and UCLA back up by 9.
Nice job moving without the basketball, and Kendall Dudley getting in the lane. More paint points for UCLA. They have dominated in the lane. 46 points in the paint compared to just 22 for Illinois. Lauren Betts feeling a lot of heat around her, and an excellent cut away from the basketball by Dudley. And that was the concern for Illinois and Shauna Green, is if you bring all the attention to Lauren Betts, she's such a good passer at 6'7". She sees over the top, and they get wide open layups that way. They've done a nice job mixing it up. Lauren Betts has been good, 20 points. It's right at her average, but only 5 rebounds. They forced her into 4 turnovers. So, I mean, for most standards, that's a career night for a lot of people. But she's brought the heat defensively as well.
So this is the one, a few minutes ago, mentioned that Lauren Betts, wait a second.
Right here.
Oh, okay, so it was Betts coming in there. It was hard to tell live, even hard to tell in the first replay, that Betts did pick up that block, and that was the all-time single-season record block, 67th of the year for Lauren Betts. It's also a season-high 10 for UCLA as a team. In the blocks category, Genesis Bryant on the dribble penetration picks up the foul. 4th personal on London Jones there, but just the 2nd team foul.
Impressive for Lauren Betts. When you pass Monique Billings for the single season record and you still have, whoa, how many games does UCLA have left? They hope a lot.
Could be plenty, should be plenty. As off the inbounds pass, McKenzie banks it in. Well, something tells me in the little over a year left for Lauren Betts with the Bruins. She's got plenty of more milestones to surpass. Dougal eats the miss. Here's Betts, the follow. Third try for UCLA, and Betts, determined look on her face, to the foul line.
Now Betts just continuing to work. I like the tenacity that Haven Smith has brought off the bench, though. Just getting in here and trying to mix it up, not giving up anything easy. Betts sticking with it. And boy, Lauren Betts takes him deep. She is 6'7", and she has to work for everything she gets. The thing I really like about Lauren Betts, there's a lot of post players that, you know, they don't really want to go initiate contact. They'll take contact, but they don't initiate it offensively. Lauren Betts will move down the floor, she will get to the restricted area, and she will post up hard, and she calls for the ball. She puts her hands up and demands the ball. And if all these guards, it's such a luxury to play with a post that is so physical and wants it like that. And boy, offensively and defensively, she's been the difference. 20 points, 6 blocks, 7 rebounds, and I mean, she's a difference maker. UCLA good, they got the good top 20 win against Michigan State without Lauren Betts. They also beat Creighton earlier this year as a top 25 team without Lauren Betts. This is just a high quality UCLA basketball team, but Lauren Betts is the difference maker at 6'7" in the middle. She's just so big and strong and dominant on both ends.
It's interesting the trajectory of their season with sort of the chemistry. Betts is such a gravitational force when she's in there. Corey Close thought, you know what, they obviously wanted Betts in there against Michigan State, but there was a silver lining in that you got to see Barker and Gardner step up and some other players have some more energy in that game. Now, to update the story, Barker went down with an injury in this game, so that's a concern going forward for UCLA. But the great thing is they have Betts. She can dominate, but they're also one of the deepest teams in the country as the ball gets stuck behind the backboard.
Well, and I think it's not just about injuries, though, because you get 5 fouls in college basketball, and 5 fouls for somebody at 6'7" who's in the paint mixing it up. You can get some ticky-tacky ones, and you have to sit on the bench. And so not just injuries, you have to be prepared every single game to go without your bigs for significant stretches. And sometimes you can't avoid these fouls. You're in the paint, you're mixing it up, people are leaning on you, you gotta lean back, right?
Elise, I was about to ask you if you wanted to go pitch in back there.
Well, you know, I'm not stretched out. Give me a little time, but I don't think anybody wants to hang around long enough to have me stretched out.
Yeah.
Little heat, massage. Maybe.
Well, 36.8 left to go here. Number 3 UCLA up by 9.
And this is exactly the type of game that I did expect from these two teams. A defensive battle, and UCLA just a little bit bigger and a little bit stronger on their home floor than Illinois, even short-handed. They've been short-handed all year, Illinois, but another lost starter, no Jasmine Brown-Hager today, and Illinois just keeps on ticking. Their 8-game winning streak. Looks like that will fall unless we get a tremendous comeback here in the last 35 seconds. But boy, what a run. The longest run for UCLA in their Big Ten history, an 8-game win streak in conference play. Impressive stuff.
UCLA led by as many as 15. Illinois at one point cut the lead to 4 with just under 7 minutes left. It was as close as they got. And speaking of getting warmed up, you know, wanted to see what Lauren Betts would look like coming back off of injury. Had her ups and downs at times, struggled with the turnovers early, but ultimately she looks healthy out there and ready for the stretch run for UCLA.
Yeah, there was no minutes restriction on Lauren Betts tonight, and that's good to see. Played 34 minutes. She'll get a breather here. as UCLA has extended this to an 11-point lead and 33 seconds to go. But just again, leading her team in a lot of different categories. And she's that #1 player on the scouting report that you have to have a way to deal with her. And so far, it's been tough to crack that code.
So right now, it looks like it's a 2-team race for the Big Ten regular season championship. And could UCLA and USC be on a collision course to, I mean, if neither team loses before that final matchup, that will be a game here in Pauley Pavilion, already sold out. A game to decide who wins the regular season championship.
Mean, it just would be so fun if that's the case. The Battle of LA on the last game of the regular season, and that one is already sold out here in Pauley Pavilion. SC got UCLA on their home floor in a game that went down to the final few minutes, and UCLA would love to return that favor. Two of the best teams in America.
And one quick thing to clean up, Northwestern was supposed to come out here in mid-January and play USC, UCLA. Chose not to because of air quality concerns. The Big Ten is expected to make an announcement or a decision, at the very least, on that this weekend as it pertains to standings implications and the fact that the teams that Northwestern was supposed to play played one fewer game. So we'll see going forward on that. But bottom line for UCLA and USC is, you took a look at their schedules. UCLA has Iowa, Wisconsin coming up. And, you know, if UCLA and USC don't lose, again, it's only a couple of games left, then they're going to play each other. They're each going to have one loss, and so that's going to be whoever wins that game would be the outright champion if they stay unblemished before that game begins. A 12-point lead for UCLA with 27.2 to go here.
Well, and that is a game that no matter what happens before now and then will be intense in front of a sellout crowd. And last year in the Pac-12 tournament, of course, this is the first year both these teams in the Big Ten. But in the Pac-12 tournament last year, double overtime, an absolute thriller that USC won. And so these two teams match up really well.
Let's take a look at what Illinois has upcoming as well. A team that, keep in mind, Illinois, they are fighting for a top 4 spot in the Big Ten tournament, which would mean a double bye, and they could really use any type of bye they could get, given how short-handed the Fighting Illini are, and it is a tough road the rest of the way at number 4 USC. They do get a week off, which will be great for this team. We'll see if Jasmine Brown-Hager, she might have a chance to come back at the tail end of that week off, given the timeline that we were given for her injury and their regular season finale back at home against Michigan.
Yeah, and for Illinois, top 25 team. And this is the hardest road trip in the nation. Two teams in the top 5, both that are Final Four and national championship contenders in UCLA and USC, and to do it back-to-back, it is a massive challenge. And I also think it is a challenge since nobody has been able to come in and get a win in LA from the Big Ten, about remaining confident after this road trip and how you can continue to play hard and not lose that confidence and belief in how good you are.
Illinois continuing to play this one out. 12-point game with 22.2 left to go. And they foul.
And London Jones loves it. All right, I'll put 2 points on the board.
I would too.
I love London Jones and her scorer's mentality.
Yeah.
I mean, she is just so ultimately confident and such a smooth stroke from that left side.
Most times ranked in the AP poll in a single season for Illinois since 1999-2000. Back into the poll this week for the 5th time this season. And one more whistle with 5.7 left to go.
And so Dugalich will have a chance to get into double figures, sitting at 9. But for UCLA, just 3 made field goals in this game. 69 points on the board, but their defense, again, is just significantly challenging to everybody that they have seen other than USC. Their numbers, their rebounding and defense they out-rebound opponents by 15 per game on average. It's incredible. And you know, the rebounding today is a reason why Illinois has been able to hang in, just 2 in their favor.
I think you were on point, though, Elise, that it wasn't pretty tonight for UCLA, but it was a textbook Bruins win. 46